Right, legends, welcome to, we'll just call it crypto market review. It's just easier for now. And if we do not get a live trade, I definitely want to take one. You guys, hopefully tomorrow then. We'll do it tomorrow instead. But I want to do a live session definitely tomorrow and Tuesday. Because I'm heading away on Wednesday, but I want to get the most. And then February, I'm looking to a jam-packed like a timetable for the live sessions. Even if we don't have a live trade, we'll turn into a teaching session. Does that make sense? So not every time we have a live something to trade live, but we can do some teaching instead, or Q&As, whatever. But February probably better for that. But anyways, let's look at the bigger picture. So you all know the reasons why I look to short that. Anyway, maybe I was a bit off. This is the thing, sometimes catching it early, but it's still, as you can see, at resistance area. Okay, it's still at that range high area. And if we look at this chart, this is the other one, not this one. This one using well, you all know from that last time, that's the July low, I believe. And then that's the first high made in July. So it's still reaching that area. So what am I looking for? We're still in that resistance area. And I said, for me to go for big longs, I mean, I can play a little scalps, but you don't really want to be taking it on a Sunday, longs, while this has happened. So for a long, short term, we've got this high here as an objective. And then what we've got here is, well, after that, let's just mark these areas out. We've got that there. This will just set the context for the rest, because I want to look at a few alts, not all, and then we'll do loads more tomorrow. There. So those will be the next target. So we'll see how this closes. Worst case scenario, this was a swing failure. And if it was a swing failure, oh god, that's annoying as fuck. That would be annoying, but it is what it is, isn't it? Hang on, 1 second. Yeah, it'll be weird. We've got this there, and fuck me, but this is gonna drop now, isn't it? Fuck's sake, you son of a bitch. But anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I knew this would happen. But I'll try to get that level there. Oh, fuck's sakes. Right, so let's try this again. Technically that is last week Sunday's high. There, we've run those highs. So if you do wish to just play back in the range, I mean, I don't think it would be a bad idea. And I won't be trading this, by the way, even if you are. But it's annoying, isn't it? Fuck's sakes. If you do wish to trade it back within the range, what am I doing this for? If you do wish to trade it back within the range, let it do its thing, okay? Now, where does Friday close for a CME gap fill? That's Sunday. Around here? No. Thursday, Saturday, Friday close around here. So I'd say at least possibly towards here. Okay, just that consolidation phase. But I'd wait. If you want to take it small, just cut in a clean break above here. But that's based on if it's going to turn now. Okay, but I'd wait, me personally, wait for it to get back below here. And then you can target 1 and then target 2. 1 second, I just need to go bathroom quickly, okay? Give me a second. So let's resume. So if you wish to take, you can do small aggressive, cut in a clean break above, and then or just wait for this range level, okay? And then continue lower. For the longs, I mean, I just don't like it at this time. As you all know, it's stupid taking it on a Sunday after such a big move. It's not very favorable, okay? But that still remains that high there. So if he does this, it doesn't fill the gap, it doesn't have to. And then consolidates, breaks out and holds. Then there's your long, cutting a clean break wherever the swing low is. Target 1. Take some profits, stops break even, and then the remainder, let's see if he gets that. Again, because it's a Sunday, I wouldn't want to get too excited. But if it does do that, keep your risk light until the new week starts. We have an Asia range to work with, and then I'll be able to post the setups if and when they happen. Does that make sense? So maybe we were unlucky on that, but that's okay. Risk was defined, but that it is what it is. As for the rest, I will have to wait for Asia to unfold. I want to go over some alts, but I will have to wait for Asia. As you know, I mean, to see if it's going to continue or not. Now, for whatever reason, okay, for whatever reason, this part gets missed, and this was that something like this, 3 drives up, which is possible. This could be the case, okay. Another reason for that is because we're at that massive range high now. So from there, it hasn't had an issue, you know, previously from here, coming back towards this mid-range. It's never had an issue for that. So for that reasoning, what we can do is draw this level out, and actually I'll draw another one. Yeah, here, using last week's high range, so we can still use last week's range. So see that high there? That is that more or less around about that mid-range and that level that hadn't been tested. And that's that mid-range there. So if it does get back below, and this would be the conservative scenario, pretty sure it turned from your mid-range as well. Which mid-range are you on about? I'm not sure what you're on about. We get this there, okay? Say if it doesn't, we'll draw this out just just to mark out as if it's a swing failure, okay? And that was the high that's capping it before, tap, tap, tap. Maybe this was a stop run, okay? And then we could just play it again. Back below, trigger, cut you on a clean break above, target region, target 1, target 2, and then possibly down towards here. And then we'll see what happens after that. That's if it was a swing failure, and if it was a stop run, it should happen quick. But if you do wish to take this early, do small risk, and we can add as the week unfolds. Otherwise, it's that same plan again. We'll wait. We'll see how Asia unfolds, break up and hold. Then we're going to smash that long towards those objectives we mentioned. Is that clear for everybody? And then you cut in a clean break wherever the swing low is at the time. I don't know now, but if or when it happens, that would be the case. For me now, I actually think it mean reverts. It just makes sense because it had a move up on a Sunday. Very, very odd move. That usually doesn't happen. Otherwise, I would have just got the position and just waited. 9 times out of 10, this is not going to happen on a weekend. If you've been trading long enough, you probably know that by now. Maybe alts, but not Bitcoin. So that sort of caught me off guard. I'm very surprised at that. But yeah, that's not a bad attempt. If you do take it small, short, take a small size, you'd be quick to cut in the clean break above, and then we can add as it or if it unfolds towards, like I mentioned. Okay, so that's the starting point I wanted to mention for Bitcoin. And one more thing about the ES is, although the fucker got me, where we came at, okay, where he actually came at was the other extreme end. So let me just mark that out, just to keep in mind. Now I will be observing, and PYR, we can do PYR, but again, it doesn't make much difference. But yeah, just remind me, let me get through the major stuff, the main things, and then we'll do the little alts. I'll do a few, not all, because I want to do more. Once Asian falls, we'll do another one tomorrow. Okay, BTC here, test one, is it here, this one, this profile? Yeah, so this actually came in towards this range level. So personally, I did not expect to go that far. But when it deviated, so let's just draw this line here, because I want to clean the chart up, and then we'll do from a clean chart perspective. That's that range level there, okay? And then this was a resistance area, okay, there. I mean, actually, we're doing a different color, so it stands out. That could be possibly, when I got squeezed out, that's that high there. But it's okay, I'm willing to get back in again. So that's that there. When it deviated before, it did go as far as that range level, and then obviously spiked there, got back below, and it's there now. Now, previously, when it did that, once it got back below here, then it sold off, and I'd say towards range lows. That's more or less range lows, isn't it? As you can see, this is the range. Oops, did I see? This is the range, okay? One could call that a deviation. Possibly, I don't know. And China's back again this week. But if it does get back below, take it easy, okay? So it's not totally out. Maybe when I placed my stop, I just didn't think it'd get there. I thought, okay, it's taken out these stops here. Why is there? But market being market. From there, obviously back towards these levels here. Exactly. Now, if this happens, then we sort of got the green light for Bitcoin to do the pullback, and then we look for the longs afterwards. I do think it pushes towards 25k, possibly 30k. But do you see my point? Where Bitcoin is still at that range level resistance, ES, if it does come back below, then probably back towards range and probably stay range bound. And if ES does come back down, then that'll be our trigger for or confluence. And again, yeah, dollar index as well. Okay. 1 second. Let's get the dollar index one out. That's for dollar index. Yeah, it's still at that support. It hasn't really done much. I mean, bloody hell. But when this does start moving, we'll know then. I mean, I thought the week that's just gone, I thought we'd get it this week. I really genuinely believe that. But I guess it's got its own idea. Oh, and one more thing to keep in mind, even for crypto purposes, and then we'll do Ethereum. There's a lot of news events this week. Yeah, we've got employment numbers for Kiwi on Tuesday. Obviously China's back up again. Then we've got ADP, then FOMC next week. So maybe FOMC is the main one. Even if it was FOMC, we still established a range regardless. So and then BOE and then NFP. So big week ahead. But my point was, I still believed that we could possibly just trade within that range even before all that FOMC shit was happening. So anyways, let's continue. Let me just check one thing. Let's check something on my other chart. Let me continue. Yeah, okay, let's continue. So now we'll go on to, well, you know the dollar index, nothing's changed. We'll go to F. Now, I did have another F chart, but we're going to draw it from scratch again. I believe. I think we should do that. Don't know where the fuck they did my chart, F chart. Let me have one more look. Because I've done it all. I don't know where the fuck they done with it. Let me check if it's on this profile. No. One last check. It's not here. It's not there. Try on this one. Yeah. Right, I have to draw it. Okay. So the main thing for F. So we'll start with the range levels. Okay. So I'm just gonna be of a temperature. I don't know where the fuck that just came from. It's just side effects. But fuck. We'll continue. So if I do finish a bit early, just bear with me. We'll definitely continue tomorrow if I don't. Ranges. Looking at F and looking at the Ripple Quad one as well. Yes, let's get that Ripple Quad one because that was the main one we were using. Here. Now, F, if I look at this, what's capping the market is the same region here. Okay, for day trade, it's okay. Okay, this same region is capping the market. Okay, now, obviously, I think this is a big level to take out, 1680s. And bigger picture, I did say I still think we're going to go higher, but it's the pullback thing. Okay, I still got that order in. I said if you want to leave the order in, if you watch the last one, you can leave an order in, or you wait for this and comes back. Now, previously, it hung around here for ages. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up straight away. If Bitcoin and ES start dropping, then this will most likely start dropping as well. So maybe for the new week, we'll probably take it as a scalp play, both sides, and then we'll discuss the breakout plays. Now, two ways of looking at this, okay? I had wished, if for a more confident play, I had wished if they had taken that out and then rejected, we could have played it. But these clean highs can still be left in. 1 second. So what do we do here? It's a bit of a mess. Okay, so that's why I'm going to have to draw out the range. I'm going to draw out because we have to deal with small ranges. So one is obviously the swing failure. Swing failure setup, go up, reject, and just play within the range. It'll be clearer once I draw out the range for you guys. I'll probably play it towards here and then there. The second setup is I'm not confident taking it at this point short, but if Bitcoin breaks down, okay, then possibly we do have something on. And like that, what I would do is mark something like this. Okay, that's capping the market. So if you can see, that's that there. And then the second half there. So if it happens, that's the trend continuation from here. Just for these lows, that's it. It's just a range play, that's it, nothing more. Then what we could do, break down, hold, and then towards there. If it comes into here, starts rejecting, exit, and if it comes back below, then we can play the trend continuation towards, obviously, this consolidation. Okay, and possibly 1400s, maybe a bit lower, we'll see. But those are the main targets, as you know. Where's the 1400 area? Yeah, around this region there. Okay, and then for the long setup. Now, what if it continues to go up? Okay, gotta be prepared for it. Well, I believe the next objective is probably going to be, well, these highs here. Obviously, that's just clear for us. But this, towards this consolidation here. Here, okay? So what I'll have to do, we'll wait. I'll have to wait for the breakout play. So it breaks out and then holds. Straightforward setup, long, target one there. And if it's really going to go for the ripper, we got the 2030s, but we'll approach that tomorrow. Basic breakout play, break above and hold. Whatever the swing low is, I took it above, invalidation, cut in a clean break below, and then towards there. Does that make sense? Okay, take care, mate. It's all going to be recorded anyway. Clear? Now what we're going to do, we're going to draw out the small intra-day ranges. And we'll use this chart, so use the weekly. And we are within still last week's range. So we got last week's high. After all, I did draw it. Again, I lost it, so not sure where. So we'll just do it together live. Range low, range high. So for those that ask how I draw my ranges, basically this is what I do. Okay, and then towards the mid-range, we've got 1590.33, 1590.33, and then we got 1545.86, 1545.86, and then we've got 1634.39, 1634.39, and we're done. 1634, and that's it. Yeah, this is the range I've drawn. Okay, and as we can see, we're still within that range. Okay, so we're at that range level now. We've taken out some stops. So again, if you want to use this as confluence, okay, this is perfectly fine. Just as a level-to-level trading. So if I want to take the short, for example's sake, I could, this is because that's a weekly high. If it goes up, oops, it is wrong color. Oops. If it goes up, in case this was just a squeeze, it goes up and it still remains. And then if it rejects, then you could attempt target 1, target 2. If for some reason it drops from here and you want to wait, okay, use the mid-range as a trigger plan. Because these lows, very surprised they didn't take these. So, I don't know, say you don't like it here for whatever reason. Wait for it to break below the mid-range and hold. Then you can take a short, because you can see the mid-range lines up with that setup there, weekend choppiness. And then that should be it, like a nice trend line break as well. Target 1, target 2. As for the long setup, well, we're waiting for that breakout for Bitcoin. You know the targets, so let's just quickly mark out those objectives. So we are ready for that. Does it happen over Asia? I don't know. It'd be hard because previously, if you look, it made 1 high, 2 high, 3 highs. It could possibly be doing that again. Doesn't have to, but it did do it before. So at the same area, that's the funny thing. There, target 1. Just keep it conservative, okay? Let's do that in there. With the consolidation. Okay. And then target 2, obviously. If you're really going to go for it, then we've got that area here. Does that make sense to everybody? No, I'm not going to say in Asia, but I will trade it with you guys during the day tomorrow. So probably afternoon time, we will trade it. I want to do a proper live, because then we'll have some range out the way with, and then we can do either scalp or another teaching. But I do want to do definitely a live trading session tomorrow. So I won't take too long here, but just to aware if you are trading it. But once, so say tomorrow, we'll come back to this and say, remember the setup there? Just so we've got it out the way, we don't not start from scratch. I don't want to get just live trading straight away stuck in. So if I stay up now, I'll be too tired for tomorrow. Does that make sense? But it took me off guard. Today's movement really took me off guard. But anyways, the main thing is my points clear on what I've said on Bitcoin, ES, and Ethereum before we continue, because the rest will depend on those. Yes, we've had some moves, but it's just as quick as they go up, they go down. And this week, if Bitcoin does break out, we will be taking longs and longs. I will be with you guys, but it's still, even though I got stopped out, we're still at the resistance region, like I mentioned. Okay, but we will be quick. So let's just quickly run over some alts. I've got Litecoin there. Let me just save that profile, and then tomorrow we'll choose which is the best alt. Well, I'm not going to be looking at 20. Okay, just to make that clear. Let me see, just save that. I won't be looking at 20. I'm human as well. But we will be looking at something that's nicely tradable. Illiquid ones we can't trade live. That's just for pumps. But here, it's one of the main ones I'm watching. Okay, so this pair, this was resistance, but that's coming towards there. Now, if it does break down, Litecoin, I still think it could go higher. But till then, this is still major resistance. If I did this chart like this, would we all agree? I mean, before it was as well, but it's just a zone more or less. Hasn't really done that much. But would we all agree that's major resistance here? Just for a reaction purpose, probably a pullback, but it still is resistance. Now, if it flips, game on. And we're probably targeting towards there. I will be ready for that. So if it does, however, looks like a Bitcoin, see, this is that major resistance, Bitcoin. But if it does do whatever, start breaking up, then we're ready. I'll be looking for the longs. That is probably a potential to take long tomorrow if it breaks up. But if it breaks down, then we'll have same levels. LDO, if you have time, what's the next? Let's get through these first. Easy peasy ones, but yeah, we'll cover a couple. I'll cover about 5 alts. This is one of them. The rest we will do tomorrow. We'll do it together, and then we'll pick the best one that's got ready to trigger, and we'll just trade it. The rest, the other plan is, for now, until it's proven otherwise, okay, breakdown as a possible shorting opportunity back towards around about here. Okay, target 1, target 2. If it gets there, target 3, and that could be the dip to send it higher again, just like here. Does that make sense? Flat daily open. Which I see with alts, I wouldn't pay too much attention to flat candles. They're not as important compared to Bitcoin, say for example, like, and equities and stuff. But alts, right, because some of the data feed errors we have and stuff like that. But yeah, let's see if that is the case. But does that make sense? I mean, also, big move into resistance on a weekend with Bitcoin is a bit suspect, okay? But we will be prepared if it does reclaim. So this I would call a deviation area. See this blue box here? Why? Because previously, this is the SR level that capped it, okay? Oopsie daisy. But this was like a deviation. See there? Deviation. And then congestion, once you broke that there. So for Litecoin, if it breaks up, let it consolidate. And if it breaks up and hold, there's going to be a long. I go for earlier target, like this, okay? Before it even gets to 125. And then after that, if everything else is breaking up, target, and then each high at a time. Does that make sense? Yeah, we'll do that in maybe tomorrow. Bitcoins do usually flat candles, say on the daily, get filled. Usually, not all the time, but we'll cover that. Don't worry. When the time comes. Yeah, I am okay. I just feel a bit it's weird. I had my medication today. Forget it. I don't know if I'm going into that, but yeah, I feel a bit sick today. It's weird. But yeah, that's that there. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll wait. If you wish to take this, do it small in violation there. Target regions I've mentioned. Okay, but I'll just wait. It's a bit wait for the new daily wait for the new week to start. Okay, it is towards the end of the month, but for a pullback play, as you know, and then we'll target towards there and then there. So that's one alt. We will be covering many alts, not to worry. The other one is our sushi. So sushi still not really done much. Okay, it's not really done much. We'll see. It's still around that area. Now, bigger picture, I would love for sushi to come into here, and then we'll go for the big run. If they dip, not saying they will, if they dip, sushi will be one of them that Asian Quants likes. Okay, but around about, if it does dip, these things dip fast and aggressive. We'll be looking for possible longs around here. Okay, can it happen? Of course it can happen. It's happened before. It's still range bound. If I look at sushi like this is still within a range. Pull that range low, and then we'll call that. This is still stuck within this sort of range, isn't it? It's not really broken out yet, so that's what you got to remember. If it does break out, we can do this. You said Z6. I'll cover Z6. But I'm probably more interested after the dips. I thought it was going to dip, but stuff like that, a liquid one, they really run. But we'll have a look at it. So with sushi, if it breaks out of the range, yes, we will then be ready, and then probably most likely towards here then. Okay, that's capping. See that there, capping the upside. So if it breaks out, wait for Bitcoin and them to confirm as well, because if Bitcoin is just a swing failure and drops because of where it's at, then it's gonna take everything else down immediately. Okay, so if it breaks out and holds, then it's gonna be towards there. Does that make sense? So we will be ready for longs. I'm not denying longs, but you gotta be realistic and open to that as well. On the other side of things, because this is still resistance area, okay, if Bitcoin does break down and the others do as well, then break down and hold, and that's where the range levels come in. Target 1 towards there, target 2 here. So I think the range levels will be more clearer. Throw in the range levels. I like the mid-range for an objective. I'm not saying this is the top, I'm not saying this is going to fall from here. But if it does, excuse me, we wait for the Bitcoin trigger or wait for tomorrow, where I'll be going over it with Asia's price action. Okay, breakdown and hold. That's a breakdown towards here, most likely. Okay, let's see if there's one more run up, possibly. I don't know, it's a bit of a weird coin right now, but if it does start breaking down below this trend line, I would say that's probably a decent risk trade. So if it does break down like this, then it's ripped back up, took out these stops. I'd cut in a clean break above here. I generally think we come towards there, decent risk to reward. Okay, but look at Bitcoin as well. Is that breaking down? Is Ethereum breaking down? And then we'll go with that. Does that make sense? As for the long idea within this range, well, it's not the easiest one to play, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I may have to wait for tomorrow. Sometimes if I don't have clean play, it's a difficult one. I'd rather wait for a range high breakout. If I look at the daily, do we have something to work with? It's not the cleanest, is it? Yeah, I'll wait for tomorrow for this. I'll wait for tomorrow. This is, if it does run up, like I said, we've got big leg, but it's not easy pointing along. Other than this, like I said, if you really wish to take it like this, clean breakout, I just don't trust that Bitcoin's price action. If Bitcoin didn't do the move, then I wouldn't mind something like this, breakout and hold. Okay, you can take that long, but be careful of what I said at Bitcoin. I won't be taking this. I'd rather wait for tomorrow and get up higher, but towards here, and then towards range high, where you be quick to cut it and a clean break below, and then you can flip and take the short. For me, I understand trading sense of all. You don't feel that the price action is really. I do feel it's strange. Yeah, I do feel it's a bit weird, but sometimes that's just market. Market is not always going to be clean. I'll do Matic as well. I'll do ZCX somebody else, and then I'll do Matic, SNX. We'll do SNX as well. But yeah, it is choppy price action, but sometimes markets like that, you accept it. We don't blame the market, even though sometimes we like to blame the market. But it's just what it is. It is what it is. That's just market. Or PYR. Okay, let me just get them up. Let me see Matic. See, Matic again, it's come off resistance again, hasn't it? So this is still big resistance area. Here. So this is a range. I mean, what you want to do is, you may want to, on a separate chart, I won't do loads. Okay, now there's loads flooding in. So bear with me. If I don't do your coin tonight, we will tomorrow. Okay? Definitely will tomorrow, as much as we can. This is, what was this? Maze range. It's funny how that May range was the one that stuck for Matic. So if you look at that, now obviously it's big, it's got this candle, but it doesn't mean we can't do a pullback, okay? If Bitcoin is the case, that is going to squeeze higher, and I don't think it's impossible to say Bitcoin can't go to 25 is around the corner, 30k, maybe higher, okay? And again, as it depends on the equities, what the equities do. But that's that SR level here, but it's at resistance. Now, things in crypto, even though they look like that 1 hour, give it the next hour, things can change very, very quickly. So let me just cover Matic, and then I'll do the few others. So this technically is at resistance, okay? Just like Litecoin, if I clean this chart up, this region, we can mark out a possible region for this. This region is resistance area here, just like Litecoin. Are we in agreement? The range level, or the ranges we could be looking at, is this short term there, as that's been tapping the market, right? And another confluence with that is deviation, resistance, support become resistance, resistance there. Now, if I wanted to short Matic towards, look at these lovely juicy stops resting there, okay? And that will still be range bound. Doesn't mean we can't take longs. That would probably be best to wait for it to come back below here, and then short that there toward the top of this consolidation, and then towards here. And then if it did this, reclaimed, back up long again, target 1, target 2 region. Does that make sense? Because you got to remember, for next month, if we are going to remain bullish, okay, at least short term, whether you want to call it bear market rally or whether you want to call it a normal pullback, regardless, we've more or less fulfilled a monthly candle range. So we can, the fresh range, does this make sense, would be for the new month to really expand it. Does that make sense? It makes more sense for the new month candle, and this more or less looks juiced out. Clear? So February should be the one where we start, if it is a breakout, by the way, okay? And it looks decent just from this chart perspective. Matic does not look bad. Can't argue with that, can you? And the next area, I don't know, this area, at least it's towards here then. I wouldn't mind playing it towards there then. If you go for this monthly candle low, okay? But I wouldn't mind for the new month to start. But we prepare from now. I don't know, some kind of pullback consolidation, long towards there. Clear? Okay, do you feel also the FX USD pairs are a bit harder to read than normal? Yes, and the reason why the FX pairs are hard at the moment is simply down to this. Look at this. I don't know what to fucking make of this. This is the reason, more or less. If this rallies up, crypto will probably come down as well. Equities will drop. I genuinely thought last week, but this has been one of the longest, tightest consolidations I've seen in a long time. It's not even a big one. It's really, really tight. You know what I mean? It's very odd, but it doesn't matter. It's just the market. Yeah, it is. The start of January will be killing it, and December time, but it is where it is. We come back, we'll see what next week brings, but probably don't be surprised if it stays like this till after FOMC. Okay? Hence why I'm doing the live sessions to do some... I don't like scalping in these environments, but if I have to, I have to. So someone said PY, I'll expect to do that. Yeah, okay, that's still good. Again, the issue is most people here can't margin trade it. I do, just to make it clear, have a long-term spot bag. Okay, so I have the short-term bag. But again, comes down to a Bitcoin that this can be arguably a big resistance area. Okay, so if you're going to hold spot, if it comes down to here, again, these regions are good for spot. And just to pause this. Oh, let's carry on. So Castillo will be perfect for that. As for buying PYR here, it's not a good idea. Do you see why? It's at resistance area. Yes, it may go towards here. Okay. I would have to wait for a pullback. Okay. Either about around towards this region here, range lows, if it happens. And I'll mark it out if it does happen. Or breakout. Because this is at resistance. We're technically buying resistance and it's so close towards here. Does that make sense? Yes, the record is back on. So it's not really risk to reward wise. We may get lucky if it does break out, but in general, it's not really a good idea, me personally. If you are going to take an aggressive entry here, be quick to cut it below here. Be quick. If you believe for some reason it's going to break out, be good to cut it below here. Okay, so if I zoom in a bit, if I'm going to play level to level, well, this is a resistance area here. So let's mark this out. Yes, ZCX as well, don't worry. We'll do ZCX after this because the guy did ask me first. If it does break out and hold, okay, treat it as a day trade, cut in a clean break below and towards there. But that's all you got. I mean, there's better plays out there for now. But if you wish to, that's fine. And then after that, if this is a genuine breakout, then this consolidation, I'll be the first all over it, as you all know, when it comes to this. If it is a genuine breakout, it has to be above the range high for me. So I may attempt it, I'll post it. You guys will get in first, and then towards there then. But again, that would be, it's higher up, but it's because it's at range high. Does that make sense? But where it's at right now, it's sort of a bit tricky. Clear? If there were any updates on the new concept. Yes, I will do them. It's just that the virus I had took over, and this, that, the other took over. But there will be. So I'm still planning it, but there definitely will be. So give me a bit more time. But the new concept videos will be out. It's just one thing after another this month. But there will be. Next couple of weeks. Give it the next couple of weeks. Before the February finishes, we will do it. The concept. So bear with me. I do apologize. I thought I would have it ready, but that fucking virus, right? It still lingers around. It still comes back a bit. So that's there. We do ZCX, and then we'll do the others mentioned. And like I said, if it's best to probably wait till the others. Now ZCX, see, a very liquid coin this is. Okay, I think long term it is decent, just like many of the other ones. Some of these low caps are, but again, they're so low cap. Like I seen one, right? Somebody was posting $2,000 volume for the day, and he's getting excited over 100% move. Okay, you son of a bitch, you're fucking the one there in the market, and you're selling it back to yourself for a loss. Then who the fuck's gonna buy it off you? You know what I mean? I was like, fucking hell. This let me see the volume on this. Yes, you're seeing some of these coins move big, but the person's probably entering it, spikes it up himself, and then posts it, and he's got nobody to sell it to, and he's selling it to himself. Again, don't get too excited about these, because you end up selling it to yourself or for a loss. Okay, they're not that big. This is more. I mean, if you're gonna think about it long term, this is probably more of a long term one. I genuinely do like the project. I think it's okay, but again, do your own research. There's loads I do like that end up being shit. But for long term, okay. But me personally, I want to do long term when I believe we get that next run down. Now we may not get that. I'm willing to take that risk, but for this pair, it's tough because I was going to post this around here again, but I'd rather just do the margin trading for now. It's tough. Why? Because it's at resistance region. Okay, it's at resistance region there. Can you see that? So unless type one is it does this, okay. If it comes down and then reclaims, then from there towards then the benefit is they do a move like motherfuckers when they move. So that is the benefit. Now I do want to get in some of these. I will share with you, but I just believe I don't think the bear market's over with. But once I believe Bitcoin's bottom, then we'll be stepping into all of them. So other than that, it's just leverage trading, nothing long term. And the breakout scenario, well, if it does continue, again, this shit altcoin, liquid Ponzi, is at resistance as well. Breakout and hold above. Well, what's capping the market? I would say maybe it's a bit tricky, but probably around here next. Okay, from there towards there. Maybe take some off there, but towards there. Make sense? Okay. Yeah. So let me just get through the orders, and then we will do the other ones. Someone asked me for SNX, so we'll do that. That's a little bit of a move as well. I was watching it. Well, lo and behold, again, September's mid-range, another pair at the mid-range. So can you see when I tweeted the other day, a lot of them are at the mid-range. Even Bitcoin only swing failed the high that was made last week for now. Again, if it is going to break out, we're ready. The mid-range is going to give us an entry if it is going to break out. So I will treat it like this. Okay. Scenario one. If it breaks out, then you play long towards there, and then the blue box. Okay. As you can see, this was a huge resistance previously, and it's a huge resistance here. Okay. So it is resistance area. So I'll be careful for longs. And if things do break down, that's a big if, not saying they will, this September's low is a decent target area. region. Again, save you else, no more else, because a few of you are going to go through, okay? We'll do the rest tomorrow. When we've got a clear picture, first and foremost, is if Bitcoin's going to break out or not. If it does, we'll be all over all this. So, ideally, start the new candle, rip it up, get back below the monthly open. See that there? It's an SR level there, isn't it? Deviation, deviation, let it be a deviation. There's your short, cut in a clean break above, target 1, target 2, and we're done. Thoughts on BTC? I've never looked at BTCD. Let me get through this, then I'll possibly look at that. So that's SNX clear. And the next one somebody mentioned, what's the other one? Fuck, sorry, 1 second, scrolling through. May have missed it. Somebody did mention one. Yeah, Link. Link actually was looking at adding up as well. Oopsie daisy. Link's probably one of the solid ones long term, isn't it? Yeah, Link's actually really solid, isn't it? Now, this is that same range, which is July. What range is this? Is it a quarterly range candle? It has that resistance. I wonder, I'll pray, hope it does. There's a quarterly candle there. It's still stuck in the range. I hope it does give us that dip. I think technically it did. If you took that, I didn't take it. It deviated, got back a bit above. And this is, again, mid-range resistance. So, similar to SNX, a lot of them are showing nearly exact their mid-ranges. So what I would do is wait for it. If it's going to break down, because it's a mid-range, it's got a good reason to. Okay? There's a long, cut and clean break below. We're ready for it. Target 1, target 2. We're ready for the longs. Again, for the downside, maybe let it run. It's not a clean short, to be honest with you. I'll probably avoid the short until the new week starts, and then ask me tomorrow if it does start breaking down. We'll look for one. But other than that, wait for it to come towards range lows. Around about here, really, isn't it? So if it comes down and then reclaims, we'll take the long. And by then, let's see if other major pairs, and we'll take the long. So either a breakout or a pullback. Is that clear? Or your INJ? Because remember, one pullback in Bitcoin will wipe out the big gains in alts in one go. You all should know that by now. This did its own thing, didn't it? This did its own thing, but it's our resistance. This really did its own thing. While Bitcoin was pulling back, actually. Okay, so again, it's major resistance here. If it's going to break out, maybe Asian Quant steps in with you guys tomorrow. Does this. We'll see where it's at, but you don't want to be long in it. Such a move like this. But we'll keep an eye on it. We'll be keeping an eye on this. Again, scenario 1 is we do the pullback. Oopsie daisy. Scenario 1. We get some sort of pullback on this. So previously, this is a pullback. And then we long again to there. Okay. Scenario 2 is if it does break out and hold, well, we've got quick invalidation, cut in a clean break below, target. So now we're going to see which one it gives us. Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, APT, I don't know anything about the fundamentals for APT, by the way. Is it fundamentally good? I don't know the FA behind it. For me, it's just a coin. USDT. What can I say? I mean, you see, the issue with coins like this is we don't have much of a marker, do we, to work with? What do I work with on this? Listen, if it goes, it goes. Okay, if it goes, it goes. I don't know much about this. I don't know the FA behind this. But after such a move, I mean, how much was that? Okay. Probably a shiny new coin, isn't it? One of the shiny new coins. There's always a new shiny coin. But there's not much I can say on this, really. I mean, where do I mark my resistance? You know what I mean? Is there another exchange with more data? Maybe one of these shitcoin. Yeah, where do we mark it? So let's just wait for a range to unfold for the new week, but I can't really do much with this. Okay, then there's not much I can do. XRP, we'll do XRP and then we'll call it a day. Tomorrow, we'll do get ready for tomorrow, we'll do another one. In the afternoon, I'm going to do a few things in the morning. I'll do FX first thing in the morning. I'll do Rune as well. Rune is another good one, isn't it? Rune. Yeah, keep an eye on Rune. We may be margin trading this. Because I'm looking at this as a possible thing. I probably will margin trade this. If Bitcoin does go up, this is probably one of I was looking at this earlier actually. If Bitcoin does go up, this is the range we're going to be looking to play. Oopsie daisy. Okay. So let's see if it holds. If it does hold, then we'll be looking for the longs. Okay, so we'll see today. No rush. So this will give us our deviation area. So see this level here? So if you are awake, I won't be awake. I'm going to be fresh. Otherwise, if I'm awake all night, there's no live session tomorrow. I'll be fucking dead. But say treat this as a deviation area, because this was first of all. If it consolidates and holds, then there's your long. Lovely jubbly. Maybe some off there and then there. Otherwise, if it breaks down, we'll see what we got to work with. But this is, for those that are trading, a nice breakout play. Got in a clean break below here. Decent risk to reward. That has possibly legs to go a lot higher. Does that make sense? Yes, Doge. Yes, the funny enough Doge. And then we'll call it a day and we'll come back tomorrow. Okay? We'll see. We'll see with this one. We'll see with this one. Remind me tomorrow to do Doge. I mean, the fucker does move when he moves. But we'll see. It's a bit tricky. Let me get the midpoint of this, which I did have before. Yeah. All right. I mean, technically it's a bit tricky. I'll come back to Doge tomorrow. Let me see what we got to work with. We'll use some sort of Monday's range or intra-week range to work with. Okay, somebody's asking, if I wanted to take it, where would be my invalidation? We'll treat it like any other coin, really. If you think about it, go to the weekly. And XRP, sorry, I keep saying XRP, keep forgetting. What's capping the market? First of all, it's easier to go on the weekly and ask yourself what's capping it. And it's clearly last week's high. Not last week's high, that weekly high there. So 3 drives up into it so far. So what we're going to wait for, yeah, still technical resistance. Now, if we look here, this was a bit of a pivot previously. Okay? So look to the left. Can you see that? That was resistance, 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 resistance. When it flipped, see out there? That's how you take the long, cut in a clean break below, towards there. So similarly, if it makes a clean break above, dirty. Play it towards there, same again. If it breaks above on the H1 side, you want to be aggressive, you cut in a clean break below here. Okay, just in case it breaks out. So if it does get back above here, you'll be aggressive, you got a clean validation, cut in a clean break below. Does that make sense? Clear? But you gotta be quick to cut it then, because this is one of those coins that could do boom in one go. So you either enter small based on invalidation, but here, can you see why that's resistance? On the other side, if it did pull back, the pullback region would probably be around here. So that's acting as a range low right now. So if it did do something like this, dropped, and then reclaimed, then okay, play the range like that. Clear? And XRP, and then we'll come back tomorrow. Okay? XRP, where you at, you little fucker? Okay. A few XRP charts. We'll go with the basic one. But so far, is everybody clear? The main thing I want to take from this, what the fuck's this? Is the Bitcoin, ES, and Ethereum. Once you know what that is doing, the rest will be easy to navigate. Okay, so this I did previously say the breakout play, and technically on its own merit would be valid long. It's just my caution comes from what I explained at the beginning. So if you want to take this, probably keep a hard invalidation here, but start cutting it at a clean break below here. Okay, your next target's going to be here or there. Or if you think about it, I also mentioned in the previous reviews, if we look, what's the key resistance here right now? I'll be treating this region here. So this is probably a level I want us to get past. This is more touches to it. That was just a weekly high. So you got support, deviation, support, support, support. So XRP there. Now where would be the next target for it? it would be down here, wouldn't it? Oopsie daisy. Down here. Okay. So if it does reclaim, just like Bitcoin, so they're all at resistance levels right now. So if they did reclaim and hold, well, you got clear validation then. Run it up. Maybe it goes higher. This is one of those ones that really runs. So if it does trigger, be ready for it to navigate, run a little higher. But we'll see together at the time. But that would be the first main area. Does that make sense? So I'd rather here and treat this as a deviation area. So see that there? It tested that and then deviated back below. Technically, it's come back below this higher then. Is that clear? But if it does break out, again, they're all going to break out together more or less. My main point is also a few of the ones I've shown, all at resistance at the same time. Okay, so they're either going to fall now or they're going to reclaim, and then we've got fresh range to work with and we'll just smack everything long or the best players long. Is that clear? So we'll come back tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon, let some of Monday's range unfold. Let it do its thing. Do not FOMO. The main range or trading will be when the new market week starts. I'll be keeping a close eye on ES for a short while. And anything that is set up before then, I'll post a chart. Till then, I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye.